Hey there, if you have the Waves bundle, let me show you how you can easily master any song using only Waves plugin. So I'm going to link my mixed song to the mixer. Then I'm going to come right here to slot 1. The first we're going to add is a loudness meter, although we're going to bring it all the way down, but the first we're going to add is a loudness meter. So I'm going to come right here. Let's look for WLM Waves Loudness Meter Stereo. Okay. And it's going to just give us some information, or you can use the free loudness meter from Ulin. Either one is fine, to be honest. Just bring it all the way down. The next thing we're going to do is add an EQ from Waves. You could use Shep's EQ. You could also use SSL EQ. Let's use an SSL bus EQ. So let's come to SSL. All right, so we have that. And what we're going to do with this is just basically cut or boost some relevant frequencies, okay? So we're going to play the song and hear how it sounds before we do anything. I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is so I'm going to come to the low frequency section right here and bring it down to about 30 hertz. Now, some may say, oh, that's too much to cut at 30 hertz. But the thing is, a lot of songs, for you to get that headroom for loudness, so sometimes you need to sacrifice your bass, okay, sometimes. So I'm going to bring this down to about 30 hertz. So yeah, I think 30 is even the lowest it can go to. So, and this simply means you are either boosting, as the plus sign means you're either boosting, or the minus means you are cutting. So let me just exaggerate to say, here when I bring all the way down, you can hear that. So you just want to cut typically between -1 to -3. It should be fine. I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. Yeah, see. No, they use me play. For your matter, girl, I don't see shake it. Yeah. Then we can come to the high frequency if you want to add some shine to it. And you can also come to the mids if you want more clarity in the mids, okay? So in the high frequency, let's add some shine. So I'm going to come right here, increase. And it's typically, you can see between 1.5K to 16K. And I'm going to bring this down to 10K. Bring it up to 10K, I mean. Because that's typically where you get that shine, mostly between 7 to 10K. So you get that shine most of the time. So I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. So let's see what happens when we mess with the mids a little bit. So let's come to the high mids, okay? And you can see the high mids is typically between 600 hertz to 7 kilohertz. So let's just bring it down to 1.5, somewhere in that neighborhood, and then cut it. You can see how much presence we lost. I want to take it up. You can see how much presence we got, and that's obviously way too much. So you don't want to overdo this, especially in the mids. You have to be very careful. So if you want more mids, you can boost a little bit. If you want less, you can cut a little bit. So let's cut a little bit and see. I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. Yeah, see. No, they use me play for your matter. So just like that, we have a little bit more clarity. Let me turn it off and hear I sound. I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. And just like that, we've EQ'd it. You know, you never want to do too much when you're mastering, okay? Just a little bit, boost and cut here and there, and you should be good, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is come to slot 2, and then we're going to come to, again, Waves bundle. Then I'm going to come to S1 for stereo imaging, so we have a wider mix. So let's come to S1 imager stereo. Always use the stereo effect, okay? So you have to be careful with this. You don't want to create phase, okay? So you have to be careful with this. We just simply adjust the width. You can see that the wider we get and the more narrow we get. So I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. You can hear that it sounds a lot wider versus I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. Yeah, see. No, they use me play for your matter, girl, I don't see shake it. Yeah, no tell me to wait it. Yeah, we could make this right too, babe. Nobody You can see that gives it that wide modern feel. Okay, so again, you don't want to overdo this. You have to be careful. You listen and you adjust. Okay, these other buttons are still important, but most of the time what you need to really mess with is just the width, and it should be fine. Okay, next we're going to use the waves L1 limiter. So let's come to L1. Yeah, again, stereo. All right, so after loading the L1 limiter, it's very simple how you operate it. This threshold and this ceiling. Now this threshold controls the momentary and even the short-term loudness, while the output ceiling controls the true peak max. Okay, now these numbers are important. Typically for the short term, you typically want to be between -7 to -10 or even -11 LUFS, depends on how loud you want to go. The smaller the number, that is -7, -6 is louder than -10, -12. Okay, so and then typically for true peak max, you always want to be in negative, maybe like -0 point something, -1, you know, and such and such. Now let's come here and just simply bring this all the way down. Now you want to do this as you listen. Okay, I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. Yeah, see. No, they use me play for your matter, girl. I don't see shake it. Yeah, no, tell me to wait it. Yeah. Now, if you struggle with getting more loudness out, you can simply cut out your low end. Like if you are trying to get that number that I mentioned, right, that's -7 to -10 or 11, and it sounds like it's clipping, it sounds like it's stereo on speaker, just simply cut out some low end. That means you have too much bass, okay, and it's hindering you from achieving that. So you can just simply cut out some more bass. Okay, come here, maybe -3 or something. So before this, nobody to the fire, don't you? I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. Yeah, see. No, they use me play for your matter, girl. I don't see shake it. Yeah, no, tell me to wait it. Yeah, we could make this right too, babe. Nobody else got besides you. So you can see I'm hitting -9 and -10, and right here I'm hitting -0.7. So that's pretty much how you master. But before you go, I want to show you something, right? So while yes, mastering is basically making stuff louder, sometimes you need to really know what happened, right? Does your product or your project sound, better? So what I did was gain stage, the mixed version and then the mastered version. So this is the mastered, which I brought down, and then this is the mixed. Okay, so I'm going to solo the mix. Before this, into the fire, don't you? I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. I'm going to solo the mastered. Before this, bring it down some more. Before this, into the fire, don't you? I'm gonna let it burn so you see anything you do is on you. Yeah, see. No, they use me play for your matter, girl. I don't see shake it. Yeah, no, tell me to wait it. Yeah, we could make this right too, babe. Nobody else got besides you. Nobody else wants me like you. Nobody else does me. So you can hear that the mastered version sounds wider, right? It sounds more crisp. It sounds more modern, right? While the mix sounds a bit dull, dark and gloomy. So this simple change can really influence how people enjoy your song. And that's why mastering is just as important as mixing. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more tutorials, tips, and tricks. Cheers.